Hi, my name is Heather Feather. I am the owner of Rare Bird Medicine, and today's topic is vacancy for visualizations. I think many of us two-leggeds in the modern age talk about visualizing using vision boards maybe to create what is wanted in the life, or visualizing what is wanted and desired in the life, or having a co-creative component perhaps with your creator, may be a way that you term that. Having the ability to create what is desired in the life. As the shaman I apprentice with calls me, I quantum woman, refer to this as telling the waves of probability what quantum particles we want them to show up in our life as. They're waves of probability, and consciousness is telling those waves of probability how to be a particle in our lifetime. And that is the power and the profundity of your own mind. What I'm talking about can be touched from many different angles. It's a prismatic topic. We could talk about it from the elemental formula for manifestation. Some refer to what I'm talking about as thought plus emotion equals creation. What you conceive and believe, you'll perceive, or what you think about and feel about, you bring about. So I'm talking about this component of creating the life that you desire, and in order to do that, using your creative mind. And what I want to talk about today is the vacancy or the void that should bookend any visualization, any creation, any offering, any opportunity. It took me many, many years to understand that the final step of manifestation, that many metaphysical authors, many elemental teachers, many people that teach components of how to create the life of your dreams will not include, is that the final step is surrender. The final step in any manifestation is allowing a vacancy, an opening for that manifestation to come in by trusting that its delivery is on the way. And if you really trust the delivery of your manifestation is on the way, you will surrender. You will let it go. You don't keep grabbing to see if the seed will bloom forth. You understand that, like, I can release this because it's headed my way. That is called faith by some people. But it can be called belief or understanding or knowing, knowing that the life is shifting. What I want to point to around that vacancy, void, or surrender component at the tail end of any creative manifestation is that void, vacancy should also be present on the front end of any creative component. So often in my life, I've said this in this way: what you think about and feel about, you bring about. Whatever you're thinking up here is going to garner what you feel. If you're having negative thoughts up here, it's going to lend you to negative feelings. If you're having positive thoughts up here, if you're thinking about a puppy running in a grassy field, that might make you feel some giggles in here. It does for me. I think of that often, actually, because it makes me really happy. So what you think about and feel about, ultimately you bring about and manifest to be experienced in the life. And so I'm not as much wanting to talk about this formula for manifestation today, because many of you already know that and already hold that. I'm wanting to talk about the bookends around it. And that first bookend, the start of the process, is allowing for a vacancy, is allowing for a void, is creating a gap, is making room for that which you wish to flow into the life. If your closet is packed to the brim with clothes, you might find it difficult to put more outfits in there. If your belly is filled to the brim with food and satiation, you might find it difficult to eat that dessert after the meal. So we need room in order for there to be space, a place, an area, an offering, a void, a vacancy in the life where we are allowing and declaring and claiming, here, I have made room for you to be part of what I experience. And so one of the things that I'll be talking about in the shamanic apprenticeship that I'm offering starting in 2022, you can go to rarebirdmedicine.com, click on the classes link. I'll have a year-long apprenticeship, just $50 a week. And the first month, what we're going to do is we're going to do what I'm talking about right now. We're going to do some plate clearing. We're going to do some void making. We're going to do some vacancy making. Some of you may be thinking about New Year's resolutions. And I'm wanting to offer this prior to that moment, because all of my apprentices will be given a full month to not step into a New Year's resolution, but to create vacancy and void so that there's room for the manifestations they seek. And I wanted to offer this freely to you as well, if you want to step in to this offering. and don't choose the apprenticeship, here's one of the things we're going to do that I want to give to you. Look at your life. Look at where your attention, your most precious commodity in the universe, your attention is being placed. And ask yourself this. Is there anywhere in your life that you're placing your attention that you don't really value? Perhaps you are overgiving in a friendship or in a familial relationship or a romantic relationship. Perhaps you continue to pour in love, devotion, attention, offering to someone that is not being reciprocitous in the way that they share energy with you. So they're not equally giving back what you naturally extend in the relationship. Well, why should your relationships not be reciprocitous? Why should you always have to give more? So one of the things when we have healthy self-love, self-care, self-respect that we will seek and garner in the life is greater balance in having reciprocity in our relationships. And we'll find that, what we give attention to meets us in equal measure in giving that attention back. So one of the ways we can look at our lives before we step into this new year and perhaps step into New Year's resolutions or step towards our visualizations and the manifestations we say we want to have is to consider, are there any relationships in my life that I'm pouring a lot more attention than is warranted? I can tell you, and I've had the Akashic Records tell me, there are relationships and friendships where I give more. And it is draining because I consistently give more and they consistently give less. And they've literally been like, yeah, this isn't necessarily a divine friendship. It's y'all aren't equally yoked, in the giving and receiving department. And I could continue to do that. And I could also be aware that we are experiencing this concept called time, even though it is fundamentally illusory. And while we're experiencing the concept called time, there are parameters of what can be garnering my attention. There are parameters as far as what can have my attention between now and the day that I die. And I'm the steward of that. So in order to create a vacancy, in order to create a void that the universe can fill to hand you more of what you seek, more of what you want, more of what you crave, one of the places you can look is your relationships, your friendships, your romantic relationships, your familial relationships, any relationships in your life. Are they out of balance? Are there any places where you're giving more attention that you could garner more of your attention back? Another place you could look would be social media. I'm a huge advocate of YouTube because you can learn to build a cob house, you can learn to play guitar, whereas there are other social media platforms where you may often just find yourself scrolling. So I always encourage people to go over to YouTube, type in Rare Bird Medicine, watch some videos there, watch this video there. And also you can look up other things. You can learn new life skills. And that is, to me, a really wonderful way to use technology as a tool. Learn how to garden, learn how to do something or have something you say you want. Learn from other artists, learn from other musicians. What I can say is that often we can spend time with TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all the different social media platforms where we're giving a lot of attention to that, a tremendous amount of attention to just scrolling, mind control, everybody. And we have the authority to unplug. We have the authority and the freedom and the free will if we but choose to unplug. So you can also go to your social media and see how much time you're spending on it and see if that's the amount of time and attention you want to give to social media. Maybe you want to garner some of that time back. So you're just going to look at places in your life where you're putting attention where you would like to have some of it back. If you want to start just doing a little bit of exercise or a little bit of stretching even every day. I just want to make sure I stretch every day. Okay, then I'm not going to watch that final show every night. I'm going to stretch, or I'm going to do sit-ups while I watch my final TV show. And I'm going to add this into that window where my attention is garnered and I can do this extra thing. So one of the ways we really start to step towards a manifestation that we seek is we allow a vacancy. We allow a vacancy for our visualization, for our manifestation. We allow a void because the universe loves to fill a void. The universe loves to fill a void. It's like, ooh, dropping stuff in the void. And so what we can do is give the universe a void. Maybe there are things in your home that you can donate before you go to a new year to create space for all the new that's going to come in because you're so blessed. And maybe you can see how rich and blessed you are by the magnitude of what you can give away this year. this day before we move into the new that is going to come around the bend. Give it away and see your own riches. So the invitation, the invocation today is to take a look at your current life structure. Are there ways in which you are giving, lending your attention, your effort, your energy, your focus, your powerful creative mind towards that is draining, taking, not offering? And is it time to maybe spend less time doing that? You can really politely say to anyone in your life, I've decided it is time for me to really step into self-love, self-care, and self-respect. And I know you and I talk every week, and I know that and I've decided to just devote my undivided attention to self-love. So I'm not going to be talking on the phone as much. You can always step in kind and loving ways out of relationships that don't ultimately serve you by truly stepping into serving the self and practicing self-care. And then the next step, I would say, definitely you can use all those creative components to manifest the life you want. You can do that through what they call a mind map, where you might use words and images, or a vision board where you take images of what is wanted in life, or words and images, and you look upon them. I would say the creative visualization component, it's not just the visualizing, it's the feeling of it. So once you've created a void, then you would want to sit minimum 5 minutes each day feeling what it feels like to have that greater abundance, that greater health, that greater connectivity with those that you cherish in your life. You would want to feel it and know it, as well as see it, sense it. You would want to activate all your senses around it. Minimum 5 minutes a day. Feel the newness. Oh, I'm going to stop having time conversations and being in a constant panic. I'm going to be so relaxed, and I can just see myself drinking a cup of tea in the middle of the day, so relaxed, so calm, so zen, so golden. I'm going to feel that, sense it, activate, and I can smell the tea. It's so warm in my hand. Whatever the manifestation is, you're going to engage all the senses, and then you're going to allow a void and a vacancy as the other bookend or end cap of that manifestation. Once you've fully ordered up the delicious feelings, thoughts, visuals, images, all of that of the manifestation, you simply release it. You know that it's coming, just as if you ordered DoorDash or Favor and they're going to knock on your door with a food. If you order a pizza, you don't question that it's going to come to the door. So then you allow a vacancy and a void at the tail end of the manifestation so that there is room for the universe to know, oh, she's placed an order and she means business. She's put a seed in the ground of the garden of her mind, and she's decided not to dig it up before it bears fruit and blooms forth. So we better nurture that plant, because she intends for it to come forth. She plans, she believes, she perceives that it is coming, it's coming, it's coming. And that is that void, that vacancy, that thing called faith at times, that thing where we just allow it to drop through by surrendering, by letting go. And this final step is often in metaphysical circles and in manifestation circles and in creative component circles and in vision board circles. That final step of surrender, vacancy, void, letting go of the creation is often not discussed. And perhaps you've flushed that up yourself in your own studies, and it's a beautiful secret to know. In the coming year, in 2022, I'm going to offer a shamanic apprenticeship. We're going to have one class every week that's 2 hours long, and we're going to have individual coaching calls with me. But what we'll begin with in January is creating a void and creating a vacancy so that we have room to begin to receive more of what is wanted in the life, more of what is wanted for a life worth living, for the life we say we want to live. My aim is by 2023, after you spend a year in apprenticeship with me, that you will be more fully aligned with your whole self. That is literally, through my business reading in the Akashic Records, what Rare Bird Medicine offers. You can go to rarebirdmedicine.com, click on the classes link to learn more about the apprenticeship. It'll be $50 per week, and I'd love for you to join us. You can always subscribe to Rare Bird Medicine on YouTube, like and comment there. Blessed be.